Oh, hey, we're Youth Brigade. I'm Sean.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Mark. This is our commentary on Another State of Mind.
20 years later.
22 years later.
22 years later. Isn't this Peter's music here in the beginning?
I played drums on this intro with Kevin Hunter from Wire Train.
I saw him at the screening.
Peter Stewart, we used to play in the Johnnies together.
This is at the Olympic Auditorium, this shot, where we used to have shows for about, 83, 84?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they went in after this was made, and they shot a bunch of footage at Bad Religion and a Circle Jerk show. So you'll see footage of this, and you'll see shots on the stage, but they keep cutting their heads off because they didn't want you to see that it was Bad Religion and Circle Jerks. But I know, and now you do. That's Big Bob in the middle there. I'm pointing, but you can't see my finger. But the dude with the dude with the mohawk, that's Big Bob from Aggression. And
actually, I think you're wrong. I think this is Roller Works in Northridge.
No. Yeah? How would you know?
Yeah, because we brought a crane in and they shot the crowd.
Was that
Minor Threat?
They did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Huh?
I promoted the show.
Isn't that the one where Jason stabbed that guy trying to get in?
Dogbite.
That guy stabbed Dogbite, and then Jason stabbed the guy. No, the guy knocked Dogbite over, and this chick walked in, put her heel in his neck, and then Jason stabbed the guy.
Actually, Dogbite stabbed the guy.
Yeah, we got sued. That was another one of the many lawsuits we had against us. Oh, and that's me. You like that, huh?
What happened to your teeth?
You got the same ones. Just wait. You're coming up. I have no idea what I'm saying right now, but I look pretty good doing it, huh?
This is pretty much where Sean became an angry youth.
No, it happened a lot earlier than this.
Not really. If you watch, he's...
Be heard. If you got ideas, you gotta say them. You gotta let yourself be heard. Well, the Youth Brigade's a band with myself and my two brothers. Now, the Better Youth organization is something completely distinct.
That was the most unusual Pushead design ever, because it didn't feature blood and guts and some scary-looking people. And that was a Pushead flyer right there. That was a show we did at the Palladium, and we used that money to buy the bus to make the tour. And there's the bus, and look at Mark. He has a black eye. Who punched you in the eye the night before, Mark?
That was Bob.
There's Henry. Was next to me. He was from Aggression. He died. He died last year. Oh, and there's Social Distortion. And there's Monk. Everyone always says, "Where's Monk?" We don't know. He was living in Riverside, last I heard.
These guys are making up all this stuff right here. We never said any of this.
Well, is this the part where they're saying that we guaranteed them $50,000 a show and a hotel every night and hot showers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that never happened.
Yeah. He's the manager here.
Yeah, he's the manager.
Self-appointed manager.
And he had a lot to say, you know.
He
had those real interesting witticisms. Yeah, that was the Flores house. That was a great house. Well, apartment. Here's me telling everybody where we're going, and I have to tell you that most of these guys really could care less. They were just like, get in the bus, where's the booze, where's the chicks, let's party.
This house we had 3 apartments and a house that they were going to tear down. Who all lived there? It was about
Jason and
people
Dream. Dream was living up front for a while.
Yeah. This is our first rehearsal space in my mother's garage.
Yeah,
you can note the 70s panel,
yes,
8x10 panel board.
Look at Adam's hair.
They're always skinny.
Well, yeah. How old were you? 17 or something? Actually, look at Mark with his little beret. And there's my old Vox Spitfire guitar, which was stolen in Poland. And we went back to Poland in '92, and some guy came up and said, "Hey, I saw that guitar, but I still never got it back. I like that guitar."
Sold that Rick to Bob Gnarly, and he leaned it up against the wall for many years and has warped the neck, ruined it.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good.
Man, look at those drums, though. Didn't you redo those drums?
Yeah, I had them recovered.
They're
ugly.
What do we got, like 10 flyers on the wall?
It's all the shows that have happened since.
Yeah. There'd only been 10 shows.
This is the good
Before
one.
that.
This is the montage scene here because they didn't really want to talk to anybody anymore. It actually came out pretty good. If you watch this, you'll notice there's not too many guys from Social Distortion in any of these pictures, except for Monk. Monk did a good job.
There's Louis.
There's Louis. He died.
He died.
A lot of people in this movie are
That's
no
not
longer
funny.
with us. It's kind of
That's
sad.
not funny.
We're not laughing that he died. It's just like, oh god, there's another guy who's no longer around. Oh, he OD'd. Oop, he killed himself. There's Mike getting his haircut. Who's cutting his hair? Rover.
Yeah.
Mark's old girlfriend. Her name was Rover.
There's Marlon, who's now a DEA agent.
I don't know if he's still a DEA agent. He
This
is.
is pretty much my design, this bus.
It was a wonderful design. And there's
We made the benches and the legs unscrewed. They had dual purpose. See, they unscrewed so that you could lean against it and lay down. Also, they were weapons, which
Yep.
we used a few times. And then we, I don't know if they're going to show it, but we had like netting on top for
Oh, yeah.
luggage. That was
That didn't
like
work
a
too
South
well.
American thing I saw in a movie once.
I don't think it worked too well. I think a couple of turns and
Oh,
stuff were
look.
falling all over everybody's
Pretty
heads.
good.
And then you could lie down.
See?
See, Mark was demonstrating. And there's Glenn Friedman.
Marlon Whitfield, I'm 20
I thought I saw him the other night when I saw the screening. That was Glenn Friedman in there. I
He was
don't
at
know.
the screen.
No, he was there in the bus.
Louis used to play with, was he play with the Stains for a
He
while?
might have played with the Stains for a while. I'm Adam Stern. I'm looking
I
at my
was
hair.
really stunned when we did that.
I'm Mike
Is that what we're gonna
Brenson.
do?
Apparently,
Yes.
Mike Brenson joined the Navy after this, and he's like got really big, like 250, 300 pounds. And this is what someone told me. I don't know if it's true. And then he would just, when he came back, he would just go out to bars every night and get in fights and kick the shit out of people. He was kind of. What happened to Brent? Does anybody know?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I've seen Brent in years. Derek's around. He's playing in the Adolescents now.
Started Social Distortion about summer.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about
I
Mike.
can't comment on that.
Mike was fun. Mike had a good time on
You
the
know,
show.
Monk called us up about, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
There was a show we were
We're
playing.
playing out of the Glass House, and he was living near there, like Riverside, I think.
Everything is coordinated and it goes well with
He said he was going to sneak in the bathroom window.
He never showed up.
Cities
Yeah.
like New York and Washington and that. But we're
There's
also
Rover
doing
cutting my hair.
places like Portland, Oregon, Seattle.
Uh,
and up in Canada, we're doing
yeah,
Calgary and
I don't really know what I'm
Edmonton,
talking about.
Saskatoon, and
Oh,
Winnipeg, which are places
Probably
that
about how we're not going to
people-
make any money,
bands haven't ever
and
played before.
everyone's
I think
going to
most
mutiny
know
by
that
the end of the
it's
tour.
only got 90,000 miles on it.
Rover was a pretty famous punk chick back then.
Yeah, she beat the crap out of a lot of girls.
He's pretty good.
She's
He's
tough.
As thin as a wire, but tough as nails.
That's why I went out with her.
Now she has, what, 4 kids?
So long as we have enough
At least.
fix things and nothing really major
Um,
happens, I think we'll make
yeah.
everything.
It's really exciting. So the first show was in San Francisco, but I think the scene that they show, I
I
say,
think we were supposed to leave in the morning. That's why
Right.
everybody was there in the daytime. It took that long just to get the bus fixed,
Yeah.
finished. I don't know. Did we make it up there? Or did we break down?
no, we made San Francisco. The next night we were supposed to go to Portland, and we broke down on the bridge, on the Golden Gate Bridge, I think.
Where did we play in
Leaving.
San Francisco? On Broadway?
Yeah, on Broadway. And then Dirk Dirksen rips us off, and then gave us rolls of pennies at the end, which is one of Mark's famous lines in this movie. Look what he gave us, rolls of
I
pennies.
think that's my only famous line. Like everyone's got a catchphrase. That's mine.
What's mine?
Sean Stern.
But I didn't say that. That was Brenson.
Unity.
Yeah, you can't feed yourself on unity. This is probably one of Mike's famous lines. Get that sympathetic look. I really didn't understand that. By putting on makeup, you have and smearing it on your face, you have a sympathetic look. What, girls understand you because you put makeup on? Is that how it works?
This is the part of Mike's commentary I'm interested in hearing.
Does he still wear makeup? Does he? And so what was he saying? I'd like to know. Oh, and smearing it made it look like he'd been crying?
Well, most
Oh, that's it. I
most
see.
men don't know how to wear makeup.
Right. Yeah, you got to
Proper.
smear it to make it look like you've been crying because you're confused and you don't know. You're confused with your sexuality or something.
have a sympathetic view towards you.
Well,
It's just why
It worked.
It worked.
why he put it on so carefully in the first place when he was just going to smear it.
yeah,
Process.
this show here that they're saying in San Francisco. That was Seattle. That
Seattle.
was the door. People walking into Seattle.
This is actually
This is-
Winnipeg.
No, is it Winnipeg? No, this is DC, I think. Winnipeg was the big place, wasn't it? Where did we play in Winnipeg, anyways? I don't remember.
A
It
theater.
was 20 years ago. How the hell do you
Winnipeg.
expect us to remember?
Winnipeg in the movie is Winnipeg because they have to show the audience.
That's where Monk kicks that kid in the head
Yeah,
on
that's
stage.
right. That's right. Yeah, that's a recurring theme in this movie is that the footage that you see is usually not the city that it was shot in. Why they didn't want to show
That's
the
a
footage
weird
in the city, I
Seattle
have no
dance.
idea. That was a Seattle dance. Yeah, they say this is San Francisco, but it's not. I think this was DC. Mike was
Seattle.
wasted. That was DC. This guy's in Seattle.
This
This guy's Charlie
awesome.
Manson's offspring.
This guy's great, though.
They put it on for the sake of that and not to make green.
Not to make green.
Pritchard or any of these other assholes put on
You
a show
ultimately eliminate
for the money.
2/3 of your audience.
Money. And that's bullshit. The bands deserve the money. But half of it is the band's
What do you think
fault.
he's doing
The
now?
cramps come through here.
He's an insurance
Scaring the hell out of me.
advisor.
Ultimately eliminate 3/4
Oh, 3/4. I was wrong.
of
I
their
said
audience
2/3.
by playing a 21 a bar. What the hell are they gonna play a bar for? Who can go see them?
It's probably yuppies.
Everyone was really angry back then.
Most of these people are probably yuppies now.
No, the old guy coming up here who was dancing, the old wino, he wasn't angry. He was happy. When he was drunk, he was happy.
Nothing, man.
You could see it on his face.
$3 a head, it's nothing.
Yeah, boy, were we dumb. $3 a head. 13 guys.
God, we did a really good show. Everybody loved it. It was a lot of fun. I think it was a total success.
Aren't you gonna drive, Sean?
Son of a bitch ripped us off.
Leaving.
Ripped us off at first. Then
Yeah,
we
who's driving?
hustling for more money
Where are
just
we
so
going?
could pay the PD.
Yeah, if this was San Francisco, yeah, this was probably San Francisco.
Rules a penny.
And then we started up from here and started driving, and we broke down on the Golden Gate Bridge about 15 minutes later. Yeah, there's the old guy in Seattle.
That's your dad.
That was Monk's buddy.
That's your real dad.
This is Seattle. At an art gallery. I don't remember what it was called. But you know what? Probably in this crowd is Lance from the Briefs.
Probably. There it is.
Hi, I'm Mike. I like to color my hair. Oh, I'll tell you. Let's tell some stories about Mike. We went to San Diego a year or two after this was made. Was it New Year's Eve? See the UK subs?
Mm-hmm.
And Mike was prone to wearing very loud clothes at this point. He started wearing like plaid, just really ridiculous plaid clothing.
That's Letha from San Francisco.
And we go down there, and Mike, I don't know, he was slamming and got into it with all these skinheads in San Diego and was getting beat down, and we had to jump in, and it was a huge fight. And Mike, did he get beat?
Yeah, he got his ass kicked against the wall. He went down with peace signs.
Yeah, that's right.
Got nailed.
Sliding down the wall.
Yeah, then I went to grab somebody off of him, and then I got two guys on me who are these brothers that are like, their dad's a boxer, they're all trained as boxers. They're boxing me, and I fell, and I got boot coming from my face, and Becca stuck her foot out in front and took the boot in the leg.
And then me and Mark had one of the brothers in a room alone, and we're about to like give it to him, and Mark Rude jumped in and broke it all up because all the guys in San Diego didn't want the fight to happen.
There she is, Becca.
And there's
She's in
Becca
my
the clown.
face.
That's her famous line. I always wanted to be a clown.
Who's actually been working for BYO off and on for 20 years.
If I dress normal,
Marlon is a DEA agent. We've already said that.
Marlon went to Europe with us.
being black in like the wrong neighborhood.
And we
In
left them
84.
there.
We're the first American punk band to go to
You know, I've been
To Europe.
To go to
And we were,
Eastern
yeah, in
Europe.
Eastern Europe. We were in Poland, and people there had never seen a black guy. And people were coming up to him and just touching him because they'd never seen a black person before.
And saying, Schwarzman. And then in Yugoslavia, one guy was getting mad at us, saying, why you hire the nigger man? And we couldn't figure out if he thought that he was our slave, or that how dare we, what are we doing with a black guy? So that was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He was like an alien on another planet. He kind of freaked out on that tour.
Yeah, he lost
Wow.
He lost him.
You don't know it
Fell in the
yet,
fire.
but he won't finish this tour either. That's why I didn't want to take him to Europe. We did. We
should have watched the movie before we went to Europe.
Yeah, it was my fault. He kept bugging me, and I said, come on.
And the
let's do
funny
another
thing about
dance.
this scene, this is up in Canada, is Monk climbs up and gets the flags, and watch, he doesn't even get to run with it.
empty-handed.
Yeah, thanks, Monk.
Maybe he was thinking, I'll steal it. You guys run with it. If the cops come, you'll get busted instead of me. So maybe he was smart. I forget that.
This is our homeland, Canada. Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about. They left out Vancouver, and we went to Victoria, and we kept telling Social Distortion and all the Californians, because we're from Canada. We said, wait till we get to Canada. The beer's going to kick your ass. It's way stronger. Oh yeah, no problem. We can drink. We'll drink you under the table. We went to Victoria, and we stayed at the Dayglow Abortion's house, one of the most disgusting houses I've ever been to. And by the end of the night, every Californian that we brought with us, all the Americans that we brought with us, was either passed out or puking in the bushes from beer. Yeah, the bus didn't smell very good after that evening.
These are nice people.
Yeah, the people in Canada are great. Calgary people are really nice. Sorry, I can't remember anybody's names. It's a long time ago.
I think it was Yoda that opened the door.
I like that. It's the best city we've been to so far. It's only like the 5th city.
Yeah, but if you watch this, it looks like it's only the 3rd city.
Yeah, look at his shorts.
It's like watching old NBA.
Manor from Calgary. Most of the punks come party here. It's where everybody hangs out, have good times.
Great house.
Oh, yeah. So they had this,
Is that Yoda?
they had a safe. Remember they had this safe there?
Oh, yeah.
There was a big mystery with the house. And
What was in
the
it?
basement.
Yeah.
And
Didn't we
what
break
was
it
in
open?
it? We couldn't see. It's been there. No one's gotten into the safe. And we're like, well, fuck it. Let's open it, So we got bats and crowbars, and we opened the safe, and it's just a bunch of raffle tickets. We ruined their
Gotta do it
whole...
once in a while.
What?
Wanna look at you and want to fight you.
Want to fight you.
Sometimes you got to do it.
I forget her name.
You still get people walking by. I've had people walking by and
But they have the most Canadian accent in the middle of the country, the most pronounced.
blow the punks.
Of course, outside of Montreal, but that's not even a Canadian accent.
Pretty well, yeah.
Hey, Mike, that girl, she looked at you. That's Barb, the black girl.
How you doing?
Hey, do I look sympathetic?
I'll be back in a second.
Oh, yeah, and we get this. This is the story of when Brenton picked up on chick with the ice pick.
Next thing I know, she was in the club, and she was.
Yeah, the other day at the... oh, you can see Peter in the window. You can see his reflection. Peter was pretty angry. He started talking about, hey, did any of you guys get laid on the tour? Because I didn't see any of you with any girls, because I thought that's the whole reason you were in a band was to get laid.
Finally, I believed her. I was drunk, and I had fun.
So he makes
And I said
reference
Brenton got
to
married.
Monk's girl and with a
Sado
ugly
Nation.
girl.
Portland. Sado Nation.
Yeah,
Yeah, the singer of Sado Nation.
she was ugly.
Oh, yeah. Mark, you a little drunk there?
Because you don't go in the front of the bar.
So,
Because there's these
big
burly biker guys out front, and
so the funny thing is that this place is that we played there, it was a week, right? We had a residency, and we'd play there, and it was all hicks. I mean, Calgary's like the Texas of, Alberta, which is the province that Calgary's in. It's like the Texas of Canada, and it's just a bunch of wannabe cowboys there. So we'd go into this bar and play, and then, we'd play our songs, and the 20 or 30 punks that would show up during the week. On the weekends, it was better. Would be there, and then all the hicks would want us to play cover songs. So we'd do these jam sessions.
Like this one.
Like this one. Wow, what a great segue.
I guess we needed headphones or something. I'm trying to pull for it. Find some excuse why you're so off.
Off of what?
Yeah, that probably wasn't the best footage that they had. I don't know why they used that, but they must have found it interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing what they found interesting, because you see, originally when we agreed to let them make this movie, because it wasn't a situation where these guys came to us and said, hey, we want to film you doing a tour, we got a great idea for a movie. We just decided to go on tour, and these guys, Adam and Peter, who we went to high school with, heard about it and thought, hey, we'll go along and film you. And we said, all right, as long as you let us be involved in the editing. And of course, once the tour was finished, they wouldn't let us be involved at all. And then there's the writing of the song.
Yeah, it was already written at this point.
Yeah. So all this is fake. And apparently, from what Adam said the other night, we went to a screening, my brother Adam and I went to a screening, a 20-year anniversary screening of the movie the other night at the the LA Film Festival. And apparently Adam, the filmmaker, Adam Stewart, was complaining.
Small.
No, Adam Small, right. Peter Stewart. Adam Small, Peter Stewart, those are the guys who made the film. Peter was complaining that he never made any money off this. And he said that he wrote half of the song. This is the first I ever heard of it. I thought Mike wrote it.
A lot of things on the tour.
Okay.
A lot of inspiration for new songs.
Where's that?
This is in, I think this is in D.C. At the Minor Threat House out on the porch in the back.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Could be.
Which was actually the last place we played on the tour.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Either that or it was somewhere in the middle.
That's what I'm doing. I'm living.
But there wasn't really too much time off unless it was... Well,
See, that's where he gives his average day. This is
Yeah.
where I could really relate. This is what I was all about back then.
Rockford Files, Mary Tyler Moore, Bob Newhart, Sleep In.
I watched General Hospital in Rockford.
It's kind of a fun day.
And then
I used to know the whole schedule.
I don't know which is worse, that you knew the whole schedule or that he actually watched that every day.
I never watched soap operas.
Yeah, all the punks in Huntington Beach were into General Hospital.
then I'd watch
They were all tough, crazy,
I'd watch
and they all watched soap operas in the daytime.
Kung Fu, then go out,
Party with my friends. Drink with my friends.
drink with my friends, go to a show or something.
Nightlife.
Nightlife.
I remember.
This is Winnipeg.
Yeah. You'll see Monk gets out there and kicks someone in the head. They didn't like that at all.
No. And I recognize some of the people in the audience. There's that guy, Doug. Because we went back a year later and played in Winnipeg, and we had a big show.
There's this guy, Chris.
Or 2 years later.
You'll see him with the mohawk that's dancing.
Oh, he wrote it.
He just wrote a book, and he sent it to me. It's called I Was a Punk Before You Were a Punk. Where is he? There he is.
Yeah.
That's Chris.
You can't point because they can't see him. That's Doug, the guy who was grabbing his boobs. I don't know what happened to those guys. But Winnipeg is a great scene because that's where the stretch marks are from.
As skinny as Mike looks, he was a good fighter.
Oh, yeah.
At one time we did a show at the Florentine Gardens with, was it Angelic Upstarts? I think it was Angelic Upstarts.
Or was it the Stiff Little Fingers show?
Oh, maybe it was Stiff Little Fingers, yeah. And that guy came out, was on PCP, he was just like yelling his head off, and he had his shirt off. He's like, come on, motherfuckers. And Mike just happened to walk out the side door. Didn't even know what was going on. Just socked the guy. And the guy just went down like a ton of bricks.
Oh, I saw Mike get called out. I was standing outside of the Café de Grand, which was a pretty famous punk club in Hollywood. And these guys from this gang called FFF, I think. They're from the Valley. they said, "Hey, where's Mike Ness?" And I said, "Standing over there." "Tell him we want to talk to him." "Hey, Mike, these guys want to talk to you." Mike's all, "What?" The guy's like, "We want to fight, man," or some shit like that. So Mike went up and laid one guy out, one punch, and another guy came up and he laid that guy out one punch. It's like, boy, that was pretty unimpressive, guys. You call him out, he just knocked two of you out. Then, of course, there was a New York story, but I guess Mike already told you about that, so.
Probably not.
Here comes Monk.
Here comes Monk with his great, look at Monk. Ooh, yeah, get off the stage. Get off the stage. I'll punch you.
Nice.
Now you see all the people in Winnipeg going, "Who's that fucking asshole? We're going to kick his ass." This is where the stretch marks are from, so we made a lot of good friends on this tour from this show in this town. We ended up putting Stretch Mark's record out. And The Unwanted. They weren't from Winnipeg, though. They were from...
Yeah, they were.
They were? And we met SNFU on this tour, didn't we?
Yeah. Sure did.
Yeah, didn't we stay in Edmonton with Gubby?
Yeah, we stayed at Gubby's. Yeah.
And then you came down to Saskatoon, right?
So that was Billy the Shoe.
That's when Billy the Shoe took the crap on the side of the road.
Tried to pull the cop's gun.
He was trying to pull the cop's gun out of his holster. This guy was crazy. And we wake up in the morning. It's a Sunday morning after the show in Saskatoon. We go to Saskatoon. See, there's so many things that they shot that they just left out. We go to Saskatoon. They never had a punk rock show there. It was kind of a college town, small town between Edmonton and Winnipeg in the middle of Canada. And all the people that came to the show, or a bunch of them, had decided to color their hair blue, but they didn't know about hair coloring, so they just spray painted it. They started sweating, and the blue was just running down their faces.
She just tear it all down.
No, we were throwing beers on their head, so they all walk around with blue. Vice Squad played on that show too.
She accepts it.
Oh yeah, Vice Squad played.
And actually, Marlon, the DEA agent, he hit it with Becky Bondage.
Yeah, he did.
That was a good one.
That was right.
It's the envy of a lot of people.
At a party. We were all at a party,
Yeah.
and Marlon just was chatting her up, and the next thing you know, they went off into some bedroom and closed the door.
Good money and get a nice suburban home and have 2.2 kids.
Like,
have a
yeah,
nice
Marlon.
two cars and a nice dog and
What a
everything like
stud.
that. That's
This
not
guy's a
why
yuppie.
I'm
Bondage.
willing to sacrifice my life to do
That's
that.
Jim Barnett. He went to UCLA with me. And apparently, Peter
he's a
Stewart
lawyer.
went to UCLA,
I'm sure it's threatening to my parents in a
and
way,
he said that's
but
where
it's
he
actually
met
a
Jim, and
moral
that's where he
mind
recruited
son.
Jim
So
for this.
I can
I
say
didn't
that
remember
to a
that.
degree to 'em, and they don't
But yeah,
absolutely freak out,
we
but they still have a hard
we
time
don't know what
with
happened to Jim, but we figure he probably does have 2.3 kids, and the marriage and the car and the house,
Picket fence.
and picket fence, all the things that he wouldn't be, he became. And then somehow, miraculously, we went from Winnipeg to Montreal in one day.
Montreal has the best smoked meat sandwiches anywhere.
If you still eat meat, which I don't, which sucks because that's something I miss. But. Hey, Marcel.
That's funny.
Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Son.
Oh, and we saw her.
But no, we
Yeah,
saw her
last
in
year.
Montreal.
She has a band.
And she has a kid. She moved to New York and was a junkie for a while. And she used to go around and beat up faggots. And we think Marcel's dead. That's what she said, right?
She's cute, isn't she?
Yeah, she's not so cute anymore, is she? Was she was okay. She's a mom now, you know.
When his friend came to see him, he started to talk, and then he started to talk,
And then you
and
could
then he
even
started
get the
to
hard
move.
on.
Sharky asked if everybody had to have a stone eating contest before they were in this film. Because they got fucked up teeth.
He wants to walk again.
Stone eating contest.
You know, because I think that Adam and Peter, the filmmakers, only wanted to show people with fucked up teeth because that was punk to them.
He can even have a hard on.
The hard on. Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's true. I used to go and beg and snatch.
It's scary that we know this film so well and we didn't even edit it.
Faggots with some friends of mine to get some money to go eat or get stone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it better
See, this
I
was
wouldn't
interesting,
like to
but
be
wouldn't it have
rich.
been also interesting to
I'm
see the
not
show?
rich
I don't even remember the show in
because on
Montreal.
street
Yeah, the show was good. It was
because
upstairs.
when I wanted
They ended
that
up
place to
throwing
stay,
Marcel
I
down
do
the
and
stairs in
ask
his wheelchair.
first, but
Like two
And this
flights of stairs.
Because, oh, that's where he got the black eye, because this was after the show.
I don't know. I must have been fucked up because I don't remember any of
I
these.
don't remember Montreal at all.
nothing to eat and stuff like this.
You were collecting the
And then
money,
they
weren't
feel
you, Mark?
sorry for me, and then they
Yep.
make me
Yeah,
eat.
that's why I
And
don't
then
remember.
After a week, they made me eat, and they give me a place to stay, and then they want to screw, and then
And we didn't make Toronto.
And
See,
then I
we
go
had,
for
at this
some
point, we'd
ideas.
already played in Winnipeg, and then Chicago, and then Detroit, and then we broke down outside of
Yeah.
Detroit, and we
But
missed
Chicago
Toronto.
was good. There was a club called CODs that we played in Brenson.
Got into it with the
He got into it with the
Then
with the owner.
came up.
The owner came out and he broke his nose, socked him against the wall, and they're like, "You better get the hell out of here." It's all mob run.
Yeah.
So we got in the bus and we were leaving. We were going to a party,
Yeah.
and then the cops came. And
They
they
escorted
said,
us out of
escorted to the city limits. Said, "You guys better get out of here. You're all going to jail." And they drove away. We turned around and went back to the party.
I think it was at the Articles of Faith's house, right?
To be
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
at school and all that stupid
It was a good
stuff.
party.
But
Of course,
I
you
found
don't see
out
that
by
in the film.
myself that
I
it
think by
was
then
not
the
right for me,
filmmakers had
that
gone to
even if
bed.
I was good enough for school and all this, I didn't have
They
to
missed
go
all the
and-
good stuff.
Well, at some point, the filmmakers hit a. They went
Cow.
under a low bridge or hit,
Yeah.
hit a gas station,
gas
ripped
station.
their roof off. They put them out of commission for a while. So they missed a lot of stuff.
That's right.
No, but a good thing is they would come in. Sometimes they'd buy like 5 cases of beer and they'd come in the bus and they'd have their guy drive their truck, and Adam would just do his stand-up comedy stuff, get us drunk, and film us, and he'd do his stand-up stuff.
Yeah, Adam is actually really funny. We're talking about Adam Small, the filmmaker. We went to high
Adam
school with him.
Stern.
Yeah, Adam Stern. He's actually pretty funny too. He's actually probably the funniest of the Sterns, especially when he's drunk. But Adam Small, he's a really funny guy, and then he's the guy that started Mad TV and Living Color. And, yeah, he's done pretty good. I like Adam. He's a good guy. But he didn't really know too much about punk rock. But he's the one that had the camera and stuff, because he had this guy, Big Bob, who he kind of worked for, who's some eccentric millionaire who hired him to be on call. And he'd just call him up and go, "Hey, I'm in Hawaii, get on a plane, come out." And he said he'd fly out there with the camera gear and everything, and the guy be on his boat all wasted and just pissing off the side of the boat and ask him to film him. And that's pretty much what he'd have him do. It was completely stupid. And that's my father's old University of Toronto jacket, which got completely torn up in a fight. I was really pissed about it.
Breaking down, we've been having to spend money fixing up the bus, and things are getting
Yeah, this I don't think was in Montreal where they're trying to make it like it was, but I can't actually. This might have been in LA for all I know. Yeah, I think it was in LA. Cold.
Wasn't this
I'm
during the
pretending.
summer?
Yeah. It was raining. Yeah, no, it was in the summer, but this was shot in LA in like November when we got back in the rain. This really is Montreal, though.
If you can believe it.
Or we could just be making all this up, and everything in this movie is true. I remember
Adam,
that
you could have
too.
hit on Manu. She said next to you.
Not Manu, Manon. Manon. Manu, who's Manu? Manu's in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the chick who does cargo. And then there's your girlfriend, Adam. You know you like those French girls.
Look at that outfit, though.
Yeah.
Look at the pose.
I am very sexy.
And you
even
can't
though I
take
am a
these
bitch.
cops serious. Look.
Okay, guys. Everybody out. Or we have to butt fuck you.
They look like security guards.
No, I don't serve you.
I only have 2 half-cup servings. Not enough for all of you. You must go.
That's just the way people. It's a normal reaction.
Oh, but I give you a smile because I won.
They just think you're there to fuck with them or to intimidate them or something. You know,
Who is that blonde guy?
a bunch of kids come in,
The promoter?
noisy and stuff.
Yeah.
and just get scared, but all we wanted was.
He's the promoter that didn't pay us, but he went out to eat with
That's
us.
what I think he said. And then we didn't get paid, but they took us out to buy us food, and then they wouldn't serve us.
Mark's the last person we
Yeah,
leave
of
every
course.
place.
Nice gloves there, Mark.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
I
thanks.
don't know.
He's just making friends with the cops.
His money makes a big difference, I guess, which is a pretty sick thing to think about, but unfortunately it's true. When you're hungry and you don't have any money, the best things don't look as great as they did before.
What exactly are you trying to say, Sean?
I have no idea.
What about unity? If you're hungry, nobody's unified. You know, if you got nothing to eat, there's nothing to be unified.
I'm pretty sure it was
about.
LA.
You can't be fed on unity.
This is actually...
Let's see, if we could see the sign on the freeway, we could have seen where we were. But no.
Everyone was getting really sad because Mike kept playing the song over and over again in the bus. Totally depressing.
It was really
Put us all to
depressing.
sleep.
Except for me. I'm just
Sean,
studying the map.
he's making sure...
Because I don't know where the hell we're going.
I want to make sure we didn't get lost. You know, we were pioneering. No one had actually gone around the country
They
before.
didn't even have roads then.
Actually, I'm looking at...
Driving on dirt.
I was looking at the map because I'm trying to figure out... We're in Montreal, and that's the Rocky Mountains.
Our headlights
I'm like,
out.
we're in the Rocky Mountains with the headlight out, and we were just in Montreal, and now
Okay,
we're
when
in
we were in the
Chicago. How
Rocky
the hell that
Mountains,
happened?
we had to fly from...
Fly. We wish we flew.
That's later. Yeah, we drove Vancouver to
Vancouver.
Calgary at night. We had to do the all-night drive, and I'm driving, and the alternator's gone. So we got to go completely black, no lights, and everyone in the bus is screaming like little girls.
Yeah.
You're fucking crazy. What are you doing? Shut up. And then every time we'd see some lights coming up a truck, we'd have to hit the headlights on. We limped it all the way into Calgary.
Okay, so they just showed Chicago. This is actually Calgary on one of the jam sessions. As you can see, we're all up on the stage together.
This is the place where we played for 1 week.
Right, and here's the line dancing girls, the Cowboys. Now, why would they make this Chicago? That's just dumb. Why didn't they show this in Calgary where it really was? I don't understand.
You know, they'll dance to anything in Calgary, you know.
So you get like 5 punks there drinking, and then you get the Cowboys, and then Mike doing the worm, which freaked out the Cowboys. They just didn't know what to think. That was a famous dance in L.A. back in the late 70s. And there's a lot of discussion and argument about where it originated and who was the originator. But I think Spaz Attack is generally known as the person that originated, or at least that made it famous. And he used to go out with Tony Basil of "Oh, Ricky, you're so fine, you blow my mind" fame. It was very scary. Wonder what ever happened to Spaz Attack. No, nobody knows. Maybe he's married to Tony Basil.
He's in a lot of those videos.
Oh, and there's Bullethead.
Some people call it puzzling.
This is Brian Swilly.
He went on to be our roadie for many years.
He was a Marine. He was did some time in Grenada. And, I don't know, some covert stuff.
According to him, I think most of the time he spent drunk and in the brig.
And he was
You know,
a
the energy. You gotta get up, step up.
semi-pro surfer in Hawaii for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was this? Was this in the garage at the Flores house? I think it was. I think we tried to soundproof it make it a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, he's crazy. This was Becca's boyfriend for a while.
And a lot of people took that little lesson as gospel for a lot of years.
Yeah, they did.
They're
like, I saw another state of mind in that guy who's dancing. That's how I dance. That's how I know I'm doing it right.
That's not right. Your buddy's supposed to pick you up.
Not kick you in the face.
I'm leaving.
Oh, he's not my buddy. And I think Blake Cruz, Brandon's little brother, is in one of these shots here. That looks great graphic. See? They try to cut it. And there's Jay. What the hell was Jay wearing? Looks like he was wearing a nightie. Isn't it amazing? They're playing Social Distortion, but it was Bad Religion playing. How did they do that?
Yeah, that was in Northridge at the Roller Works.
But one of the shots was at the Olympic, wasn't it?
They're all basically
It couldn't have been a Roller Works for the Minor Threat show and the Bad Religion show. Because Bad Religion didn't play on the Minor Threat show, did they?
I think they did. I think we did 2 shows. I think we did one with the Circle Jerks and that one.
No, we only had one show there because the guy got stabbed, and that was the end of that.
If you're a girl, so from a girl's point of view, I don't think that.
What's up with the flock of goo-goo hairdo there, Becca?
I think it's pretty stupid, but it's a good thing. It's a good way to get your aggressions out of
Yeah, she's very embarrassed. But she's famous from this. And that's Roxy. I think she was a stripper at Jumbo's Clown Room for a while. Yeah?
She what?
She was a stripper at Jumbo's Clown Room up on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
America is built
And there's Jim
around
again.
the idea of the John Wayne ethic.
Talking
of us
about the
versus
jocks
them.
and John
Let's beat
Wayne
the
and
shit out of the other guy before
all
he
the
beats
good
the
I
shit
never
out of
saw
you.
him at a show.
And
He used to have a band called
that the
Stukas
people
Over
who are
Bedrock.
criticizing the punks for slamming
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
Are these macho
Yeah.
Americans, fat, overage,
Exactly.
middle-aged Americans sitting in their armchairs,
the other guy in the band was
watching
really
people
pissed
beat the
off all
shit
the
out of each
time.
other on TV
I
every
forgot his
Sunday
name. He went to
afternoon.
UCLA
But
too.
when it comes down to some people all at once having a good time.
Yeah, there's a lot of
me and my
talking in this
friends
movie,
just,
huh? And now there's a lot more.
I don't know. You should be quiet so I can watch it.
Then it's boring. Then why do people want to listen? Okay,
these kids.
My friend Gabby came over the other day. I was watching this the other night, and I'm thinking, okay, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
This is Southern California. Kids are always jumping off the diving board into the pool.
Anyways, they're taking their aggressions out against their parents. I mean, their parents are the ones that gave them this pool.
Okay, this is
I would
all.
like to have a pool.
Let me tell you something. This is all BS. That girl Nancy, the guy, the directors, guys who made the movie, paid these kids and made this whole thing up. They don't even have a pool. Gabby told me yesterday, I was talking about it. She's like, oh, that's my friend Nancy. Yeah, those guys came up and said, hey, you want to make some money? We just need to do this part for this movie. And we didn't know anything about this till the movie came out. We were all just standing there going, what is this shit? Yeah, but this is all bullshit. She said, I think it's the director's house or something because none of those guys lived in any place that had a pool.
Just come out here and jump off the diving board because of parents in school and stuff.
Okay, sounds like a good idea. I'm really mad, so I'm going to jump into my pool.
Oh, I'm going to show you.
Look, and now we got a shot of you guys jumping off the stage. Hey, see, that was a move I invented in the pool. Watch my triple backflip. Oh, no, I'm afraid to jump off the stage.
He comes out with floaties.
That'd be great.
Some kids say that when they're out dancing at a punk show that it's not violent, but that's really a joke because it is violent. The whole nature.
God,
of
aren't you
dance is violent. The way
tired
it
of
is,
hearing myself?
like
I am.
each other up.
Shut
The
up
thing is,
already.
It's not a malicious violence.
China
It's
hasn't
not
been in the
really- it's
pit
not
since
negative. They're not out
1980.
there to hurt
That's
each
not
other.
true.
They're out there getting their aggression
98?
out.
No, I was at the bowling tournament during Manic Hispanic. I had
Like, a lot of things
Davey Tiltwheel on one arm and Floyd from Fat on the other arm, and I was bouncing between those two huge guys. It was a lot of fun at Manic Hispanic. Okay, Blake Cruz is in this shot. I know. I remember seeing him the other day. One of these slow-mo things. Okay, this song, just so people who don't bother to read the lyrics, this song is not about going around and beating people up, okay? So, knuckleheads who think that we're all about violence, listen to the words.
I didn't know Circle Jerks covered our song.
But man, there's a lot of angry kids. Yeah. There's Jay. I guess Bad Religion covers our song too.
Gotta admit, they did dance a lot better back then.
Well, you know.
See, this is before MTV. It was a little more freestyle.
This is before metal. That's
That's a good point. This was all before MTV. So you travel across the country, and everybody was isolated a lot more in these little pockets. So they didn't. Everybody had their own scene going on. And you didn't really.
Well, there was no set way to do anything.
Yeah, and people, you go to
Exactly,
different
yeah,
towns and they make stuff up. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I watched MTV and now I know how to dance.
I mean, yeah,
and
who
you
would have
certainly
ever
never,
done that?
You never saw. Did that guy have a mustache? Oh
You
my
could have
God,
a
he was wearing a
mustache,
Black
too.
Flag T-shirt and he had a mustache.
Yeah, but the white flag guys used to have mustaches.
Yeah, but they're gay, so it's okay.
I thought there's anything wrong with that.
If that's the way you swing. Oh yeah, see, the fun stuff is when you're standing on
That
stage
one's
and you watch
bad
people
right
go
there.
down and you're like, ooh, yeah, that hurt. Oh yeah, that hurt too. Who was that? That was Mency, or was that Greg Graffin? That guy was jumping. He was
hair.
happy. Oh yeah. That was Monk trying to get off and he lands on the stage.
That's awesome.
That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, there you go. Second try.
All right, get off. Yeah, that was us playing. Because I saw your ugly drums.
Yeah, I saw you.
Yeah, I did too.
Isn't there like an extra chorus in here we don't do?
Yeah. Well, no, it just does the verse over again at the end. This makes this song way too long. That's why we gotta. That's Bad Religion, I remember. And all the kids got up on stage, so Graffin said, all right, before we start the song, on 3, everybody jump off the stage. And they all did it, like sheep. It was great. Very not punk rock. Yeah, and here's where we broke down the first time. Lovely Detroit. Didn't we play the Clubhouse? Or that was another tour? No, we played St. Andrews, didn't we?
With Vice Squad.
Yeah,
they played on the show.
Vice Squad, that's right.
Vice Squad played.
I remember that one.
Crongen.
Crongen.
Wasn't there some other band on that tour?
No. Oh, excuse me.
That was one of the few times I got to sleep.
It was listening to the song over and over and over again, put you to sleep.
Yeah, Mike, I hear you. I got it. Yeah, I could hear that.
Wait, we better stop and have Derek can it off.
Yeah, because we're not playing in rhythm at all. We need you, Derek.
Come on, Derek.
Play for us. Okay. I can keep count for you. What about you, Brent? Don't you want to join in? No. They just made us take off our shirts so we'd look pretty in the video.
Good thing Derek was there to do that. I don't think they could have ever started that song. The bus is looking kind of trashed at this
Yeah,
point.
it was. Your netting's looking very hippie-ish now.
Sad.
Yeah. Makes me sad.
Brent's sad. Dennis is sad.
Yeah.
Everybody's a bunch of pussies. I was having a good time.
I was too. Wham.
You know, everyone thought that I was getting Mike drunk the whole tour to keep him on the tour. Because I was the one collecting the money, so I was the one that was paying for all his drugs and booze.
Drugs? Okay, Marlon's talking about him and Louis are leaving. Louis already left. He couldn't get into Canada. He neglected to tell us that he had a felony warrant or something else. So when we got to the border of Vancouver, they wouldn't let him in. So he had to leave after the third show. Well, we missed the second show, so it was really 2.
Oh, they're bummed. I mean, a lot of them, I think, like Brent wants to go too, but the band's like holding him back. He's got like the loyalty to the band thing, but everybody's pretty much pissed off and wants to go home. I think they're just like holding on to something that's like gonna fuck up pretty soon anyway.
It's cool, Marlon. You can go to Europe and bail on that tour.
11 guys in a bus is just like.
For anybody that's going to go and tour with a band, it's the biggest pussy move you can do is leave the band in the middle of a tour. Because you live from gig to gig.
Right.
One gig pays for the next to get to the next place.
I tell any band that wants to work with BYO that they should watch this movie and they should go out and do a van tour. And if they survive that van tour, then maybe they have a chance at being a successful band.
Yeah, I think in 22 years we've missed a total of 3 shows.
Yeah, well, one we got there on time, but it was so lame that we just said, screw this, we're not playing, we left.
And one we played, but we were so drunk, the cops came, and we were
very happy.
We couldn't finish a song.
New Jersey.
So that actually we showed up for, so I don't count that as missing it.
No. This is the patriotic part.
It's a Canadian talking over the America the Beautiful.
See
Is that what this is?
World Trade Center in the background?
Yeah.
See what he said? It's all falling down around us. He knew.
I knew. I had a premonition.
Mastermind. Okay.
They sincerely believe we could have a nuclear war. And
Yeah, the Jewish mastermind.
To grow up thinking that these people are any day are just going to blow us all up.
Blow us all up, see?
I didn't even go with you guys. What was I doing?
I think somebody watched this movie, and that's what happened.
Look, Mike's never been to New York before. Hey, do I just pull the door open?
And they look at their parents and they say, well, if that's the way they turn out, I don't want to turn out like that. I mean, it's not going to make us happy if it didn't make them happy. And the religious values
Where is that?
brought up, and I mean,
New York. That's in Hollywood.
society these days.
That's in the back in some alley in Hollywood.
So what happened in New York when we were staying in Brooklyn and the cops pulled up?
Oh yeah, we're staying with the Reagan Youth guys, or forget. So some of the guys. Oh, this is complete bullshit.
This is pathetic.
This is just complete bullshit. This is all made up. Okay, the guy that they're gonna show in a little bit, Richard Bolton. We used to have a club before we did this tour, and before we got the bus called Godzilla's out in Sun Valley. That freaky looking guy right there.
Child molester.
All these punk rock kids, except for John Macias, none of them were living in this house. None of them were Christian. It was all bullshit. It was just, they said, come down here and be in the video, and we'll give you dinner. You just got to pretend that you're singing these songs and that you're Christians and you're into it. This is a wig factory that Richard Bolton's family owned, and he used to let these kids crash out there. So Richard Bolton's a psycho. Tell the story about Richard Bolton when he tried to move in at Godzilla.
We were running Godzilla's and we all left because the owner got greedy. So everybody walked, all the security and...
Well, it was all our friends.
Yeah, everybody who was our friends. And then he came in. I think we had the dam booked, right?
Yeah, he'd come around before that,
he came
like,
in
trying to
and
tell the guy,
take
hey,
over
booking
from me.
Yeah.
And then we saw him at the cafe and we beat the shit out of him.
And then
someone put the boot in his head and said, "Don't fuck with BYO." And then they wrote about it in the LA Weekly.
Yeah, he called up the LA Weekly. We called up the LA Weekly to tell him about the show. After we closed down Godzilla's, we did this big show at the Palladium called Youth Movement 82 on President's Day weekend. That was in the days when you had 2 President's Days. You had, in February, you had Washington's birthday and Lincoln's birthday. We get 2 holidays. And it was a big show. It was the biggest show at the time in LA with just local bands. It was TSOL, The Adolescents, Social Distortion, Us, Wasted Youth, a couple other bands, I don't remember, Blades. And we called up the LA Weekly to tell him about it. Craig Lee, who used to be the guitar player of the Bags, became the music editor at the Weekly. So we'd call him up and tell him what we were doing. So he wrote a little thing in his column about it, and then he said, Richard Bolton, who's taken over booking duties at the BYO's former club Godzilla's, claims that BYO people viciously beat him. And it was true.
Gabby's in this in the back.
Yeah, Gabby is in this. She told me.
In the back right side.
Oh, there she is.
This guy here, John Macias, he
yeah.
used to be the singer of Circle One.
Yes, sir.
That's Gabby.
And then he got... I think he was clean for a while, and then he was all fucked up. That was, like 10 years ago on the Santa Monica Pier. They said he was on PCP.
Okay, check out Richard. He's a psycho. Look at him. Look at him.
Talking.
Psycho. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
The cops are trying to stop him, and they just blew him away on the Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, I think he got into it with a security guy.
And about that?
Yeah, I heard he threw the guy off the pier or something. I don't know if it's true. And that's when the cops came and they shot him a bunch of times. People said he was smoking PCP. I don't know if it's true or what it was.
I was never friends with him.
And that organized religion isn't very...
But did you see Richard Bolton when they were singing? Or was that Michael Bolton? Is he related to Michael Bolton?
And people, it's the preachers and the Reagans and people like that who end up
and there's Jim talking again.
In the name of us versus them, or in the name of some religion.
Wouldn't it be good if we could write on their faces and stuff?
No comment.
I can't imagine the punk accepting what Jerry Falwell says or some other asshole preacher.
And there's Keith. I like Keith. Keith always had witty things to say. He still does. Remember we played a show in Ventura right after 9/11? Up in Ventura, which is, not exactly the most liberal neighborhood. And he gets up on stage and just says, yeah, 9/11, what happened in New York, that's terrible. But you know what? I knew it was going to happen. I'm surprised it took this long. And the Hells Angels, they didn't like it too much.
Man, no one in Ventura did.
Tensions were high.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's where we break down in D.C.
This is pretty much... This was the last show.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the end of the tour. No, not the end of the movie, just the end of the tour.
No, actually, we went to Texas.
Yeah, we went to Texas, but we didn't play.
We went to Atlanta, too.
No, there's a lot more. The longest scene in the movie here, coming up, the most torturous scene in the whole movie, is that chick that nobody knew. Well, when the movie came out, my friends in D.C. were calling us up going, who's this girl? And I said, I don't know. She lives in D.C. We've
It's
never seen her
nothing to do
before.
with punk rock.
She's got nothing to do with punk rock.
Somebody was fascinated with her. Peter.
Peter, yeah. Yeah. You know, did you see those very arty naked pictures of her? Ooh, God, they were scary. But I have to say that if Monk wasn't on this tour, we would have never made it as far as we did.
Yeah, no way.
No way. Monk saved
He
the
held
tour.
it together.
And then, you know, he had witty things to say all the time, like, what we need is a brand new Mack truck. And here's Brenson weaving his little web of deceit.
One big ugly yellow bus. I think we better buy ourselves a brand new Mack truck. 18-wheeler. What? Fucking 18-wheeler rolling down the highway.
Video games.
Video games and
Pinball. Come on.
it's a good thing we're a mobile society.
There you go. Another one of his famous lines. Good thing
Words
we're a
of
mobile
wisdom.
society. Oof, okay. There you go. Fix the broken teeth.
Well, I'm not shining him. I got him a place to stay at least.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't, you liar. You didn't get anybody a place to stay.
Total Orange County right there.
Yeah.
That big mark on the side of his face is from him getting hit with a tire iron in Connecticut when we got in a fight with a Puerto Rican gang.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on Quaaludes.
That's right. And the little kids were pelting him with rocks. We didn't talk about, what were we started to talk about? We forgot. Oh, Brooklyn. Because, you know, now we're just going to watch the bus being towed, then we're going to Discord.
Yeah, Brooklyn, we stayed at, is it Allen? No.
It's Alan Hud? No, that's Flipside. I think it was Reagan Youth people or I don't remember who. But we're staying in an apartment and a bunch of the guys were sleeping on the bus. Were you sleeping on the bus?
I don't remember.
Well, then you tell the story. I wasn't there.
I think it was like a whole bunch of old ladies in the neighborhood who, you know, the bus looked suspicious and they didn't know what it was. So they called the cops and said there was gunshots. So we had curtains on all the windows and we were just hanging out. And all of a sudden we heard these sirens right outside the bus and these cops jump on the bus with the guns drawn. And, you know, thinking there was gunshots coming from the bus. And then, yeah, actually, you were there because you had the same birthday as one of the cops. And then when they found that out, they're like, oh, hey, you're my best friend, blah, blah, blah.
I don't remember that. I remember the cops. I think maybe I came downstairs when I saw the cops out the window. There's Ian. I gotta tell you, this.
So we would
house-
sit around at the Discord house and get fucked up on the porch.
Yeah.
And they had a 7-Eleven across the street, which these guys lived on 7-Eleven.
These
So we
guys-
just eat microwave burritos and pizzas and
beef jerky and
drink 40 ounces.
Slim Jim.
You could drink there just so long as you were on the porch.
Yeah. These guys, this was the dirtiest house. I mean, it's so it's disgusting cockroaches everywhere. Just a typical all boys house. And then they just they all became vegans and they cleaned the whole place up. Now it's nice.
They got rid of the meat.
Yeah, they don't eat at the 7-Eleven anymore. But actually, I think they actually have offices underneath the 7-Eleven now. Yeah, they bought the house finally.
Still have?
They have the house, and some people live there, and they run the office. I don't know if anyone's living there, but I think they have all their offices in there. Yeah, it's a nice house. It was just kind of a pigsty when we were there.
This is what I don't. This is what I don't
Didn't get any free ice cream.
No, I don't even think we went down there. I think he only.
Yeah, that was in Georgetown.
Yeah, I don't think we went there when he was working there. But they're so nice. You know, they're not like those typical punks. They serve ice cream. They say thank you and you're welcome.
That's how they.
Like he was a little California surfer boy.
The merchants of Georgetown, they totally fucked him by being so nice. I don't get it.
Because they expected them to trash everything. He went to Woodrow Wilson, man.
I kind of deep hate for it came in. Straight edge is not like. It's not a set of rules. Straight edge is just.
It's not where
It's not saying, it's not saying I'm better. It's basically saying I got my
Well,
straight.
what can you say about Minus Five? Great band.
Great band.
Fugazi, also a great band. Hey, man, those guys have been doing their label as long as us.
Or not emulate, but just
Done a
because
great
I don't
job.
drink or because I feel like it's a set of rules. I could just try to say.
I don't remember anything in this city.
I do. Black Flag was supposed to play, and at the Wilson Center, and then they couldn't make it, so we ended up playing. Yeah, us in Social Distortion. That was the scene that they showed from San Francisco when he was all in the like bandages, all wrapped up. Oh yeah, I remember this. This fucking sound man was an asshole.
The sound guy shut the sound off.
Yeah, he freaked out because everybody was jumping on stage, so he was freaking out that his 58s were going to get his monitors and his 58s were going to get trashed.
Yeah.
So.
Unfortunately, the sound in the movie, you don't really get the sense of what it was really like being there, because everybody was singing. Everybody knew all the lyrics.
Look, that was beer.
You could hear it
a little bit.
Nobody noticed that. It looks like it was a Coke, but it was really beer. Boy, it sounds really weird.
You could hear everybody. That show gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, this was a great show. Wish they showed more of it.
And one time we played a show. Remember we played with the Meat Man
when Lyle was in it?
New Jersey. We walked in the club and Lyle was in a full dress.
Yeah. Lyle was playing with the Meat Man wearing dresses. The sad thing about this movie is that there's 60 hours of videotape that was filmed along this whole tour, and you got an 80-minute movie out of it, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but there's so much stuff they left out.
Yeah, more Minor Threat footage.
The effigies, Vice Squad, and all the Bad Religion and Circle Jerk stuff that was in there, and a bunch of other bands. No Vandals, though. Mike Benson's wearing a Vandals t-shirt? Wow.
I don't think the Vandals were around then, were they?
No, they didn't start till the 90s.
That was the other Vandals.
Oh, yeah, that was the Vandals. The ones that were about raping and pillaging. Oh, they were the disco Vandals. With the mixing, with the scratching.
Yeah, I think at one point we bought like 3 or 4 timing gears. So
just because we knew they were going to break down.
So when it broke, we had one.
Because wasn't it the camshaft was just loose and so it kept shifting, and that was what making it.
Yeah, someone said after, like, why didn't you fix the camshaft?
Yeah, no.
Like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Instead of just having the timing gear go out every time.
There it is.
Yeah.
See,
look,
broken teeth.
The broken teeth. Bitch of a bus. Hey, I'm amazed that bus went as far as it did. Oh, so I guess we should tell the story of everybody always asks, whatever happened to the bus?
Yeah, we drove it all the way to Dallas. Mike came with us, right?
No. Yeah. No, Mike
flew from Atlanta.
No, he flew out from DC. He just left later than those guys. JetBlue? No, JetBlue then. Ooh, get it in his eye. Oh, here's where you cry.
Mike.
It's so difficult. I have no talent or anything. I just came along as a roadie, but I'm going to complain and whine. Whine. The bus? We left it in a field.
You can't afford to lose 6 pounds.
No, you can't.
It's in
Dallas.
Outside of Dallas.
I'm glad for him there, but it just kind of broke up the whole unity.
Yeah, and then we left it in Dallas. This friend of ours, in a field actually. And then we decided a few months later we're going to go back and rescue the bus. And Adam was going out with this girl, and she had a van. So we recruited.
He didn't want to go out with her anymore, but since we already booked the tour, we told him he had to go out with her until we got the bus.
And then we broke out.
We're almost to Dallas to get the bus, and we threw a rod. And then we just took a cab and left her.
With the van. Oh, that was fucking cruel.
And then we
What's her name, Alma?
We flew home.
I don't remember. Huh? We didn't fly home. We had to get a rental, like one of those driveaways where you drive someone's car out to another place for them. So we got a pickup truck, and this was in December. So we did the shows. There was like 3 shows or something. We ended up doing one show with Husker Du, who were bitching about, well, you can play, but we're not giving you any money. Oh, yeah, okay, thanks a lot. That's really punk of you. And there was, 30 people there? Whatever. So we had to drive this truck.
They got all
back.
the money.
Yeah,
Wasn't
they
one
took
of
it
those
all,
shows with the big boys?
$70.
San Antonio?
San Antonio with the big boys? No.
or Austin.
No, that was the next tour in '84. That was a good tour, or '83, when we had an actual van and we didn't break down.
Well, we've been here in Washington for about 4 or 5
Yeah, that's
days
real.
now.
It's true. Yeah, it was a joke.
I
That
don't
was on
know.
their door.
Oh, that wasn't CGI?
I stayed there.
Yeah, actually, they were the first ones. They experimented with. That's what they came up with.
Now, Critter came out once when we stayed there. When we stayed at that house.
At the Discord house?
Yeah, pretty sure.
We might have stayed there the next year. I don't know. Let's get back to the bus. Oh, then we had to drive back in this pickup truck. And it was the three of us in the winter, and only two could fit in the cab. So one had to sit in the back of the pickup truck. No, we would switch off, and it was freezing. And I don't think we had any blankets or anything.
It's just normal for back then. I mean, we didn't complain about it. You just did it. I don't know why all these guys complained about everything.
Oh,
and
God.
the funny
What
thing
is
is, the funny thing is, it was all the roadies that complained and quit and everything. It's like, we don't even need you.
Yeah.
Now there's more space.
I don't know. You're just a pain in the ass. Did you notice we didn't have merchandise in those days? Yeah. There was no merchandise, so if we didn't get paid for the gig, we were pretty much screwed.
That's nasty.
Oh, God. Who wants to look at that? Why? You want to look at
It's the antithesis of Viagra.
Oh, God. That'll ruin your hard-on right there. Hard-on. She looks like a boy. So,
I think she's really depressed.
So, and like I said before, apparently nobody in D.C. knew who this girl was. Yeah. Like, all the guys, the Minor Threat, the Discord guys, they were just saying, who's this girl? Why is she in the movie? We've never seen her before. And I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole scene going on around the country, and they didn't capture a lot of it.
But they captured this, because this was punk rock.
I know, that was the problem. Because there was a lot of cool stuff that was around us, and, you know, people that were kind of running the scenes in each city, and they didn't put that in, which would have been a lot better. I mean, they made a good story. The bus turned into a story, and it became the star of the movie.
Yeah.
No one set out with any kind of goal. There was, you know, they filmed us, and then that's what ended up happening, and that became the story.
Is that we agreed to let them come as long as they let us be involved in the editing, and they refused to let us be involved, which sucked. Had they been, I have no problem with the story of the bus breaking down and all that. That I have no problem with. I mean, granted, I might have said, well, you know, it's making me not look so good. I don't really care about that. But at least it's a document. Document and be somewhat truthful of the scenes that we played, the cities that we went to, the fact that here are two bands that have never been around the country playing this music. There's no internet. There's no MTV. There's no distribution. There's no connection other than getting the stolen credit card numbers that the Yippies published on the back of their poster with Ronnie and Nancy smoking pot, and use those to make phone calls to book your tour around the country. What do? We'd call a store, or we'd call the college. We'd find out, hey, is there a punk rock scene there? Is there any bands? Oh, yeah, you should call this guy. And, hey, you want to do a show? Sure, why not? I'll do a show. And that's how we did it. And that was what was, to me, the really interesting and important part that they missed a lot of. You see it, but you don't get the real sense of what the accomplishment was. Instead, you get her making sandwiches and talking about how her father locked her in a closet and how depressed she is. And that is not punk rock. I'm sorry.
Making sandwiches is kind of punk rock. I mean, they do it.
I don't think this would get an A for the health standards in L.A. She didn't have the plastic gloves on.
To book a tour, you would just get a pad of paper, you go down to the phone booth with a pack of cigarettes and coffee or a six-pack and just
Actually, early on, we didn't even go to the phone booth. We just used our phone out of our house, and then they started getting wise to it. Because in the early days, there was only AT&T, and when they decided to make credit card phone calling numbers, they just took everyone's phone number in the phone book and gave them a 4-digit code at the end of their number. And then the Yippies figured out how the code was. Okay, the code is made by, if you have this number here, then it'll be this number and this number here. So you could make up a number, take any number out of the phone book, figure out the code, and you'd have a credit card number. And then when people would get their bill and say, hey, I got $1,000 worth of phone calls I never made, I don't even have a credit card, then they just remove it from your bill. It was great.
Yeah, but then they go back to the original phones.
Right. So then they start getting wise. And then we
Then
just
they
say,
got the
I don't know who
corporate-
made those
Yeah,
cards.
but then they got all the big corporation numbers where they wouldn't even catch it on their bill because, it wouldn't matter. So you could just sit there. I mean, I would call someone in Montreal. I'd get a number. Someone in Vancouver go, hey, I got a new number. And then the next phone call would be Montreal. Hey, I got a new number. I already got it.
Oh, I just gave some guy in Vancouver.
Same songs.
Everything's kind of faded to black on the so I might as well keep my hair
I was
black.
just mouthing what he was saying. I know these songs like
Hey, is that Tomas?
my mother.
Someone took a shit on his head.
Yeah, we had numbers from like the KKK and the Nazi Party and the White House and it's great. Bank of America, AT&T. We even had their card number. Oh yeah, it was. It was real expensive. Especially in Europe. When we did the tour in Europe in '84, whoo, those credit cards saved us a lot of money.
Yeah, I used to have a girlfriend that was living in Brussels, and then just talk to her for hours.
Yeah, my girlfriend went to Switzerland to boarding school. I just call her up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, now you look like you did when you started.
Well, next thing I just got the song finished. I've been working on it.
Where's that?
I don't know. Must be his
Mike's
place.
On another state of mind.
Oh, it's got to be after the tour.
He looks pretty clean.
He's all cleaned up.
You said he had a dress-up outfit, and then he had a dirty outfit.
Really? You only had 2 outfits?
And this was his dress-up outfit.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
that's what
he
he
did.
flew home in. Or
Yeah, he's already home.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Mike hung in there pretty good. He didn't really complain.
Mike never complained. He was
kind of
cool.
went with the punches. I mean, we all did. It was, it's fun. I mean, shit, you're like 19 years old and you're traveling around meeting people. It's cool. No one was expecting to.
Most everybody had a good time. The only people that really complained were, Brenson.
All the roadies.
Yeah, all the roadies.
Monk
bitched.
didn't really.
Monk never really complained. Brent complained. He was kind of a little crybaby.
A little bit. I mean, they show out like they complained all the time. They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. That was just at the end. They left like right after all that, so. It sucked. You break down, you miss a show, you'd be standing around at a gas station for half a day trying to figure out what you're going to do. It's boring. You have no money. You can't go to the bar and drink. It's hot.
That was the worst part. You couldn't go to the bar and drink.
Yeah. See, at least if you're at a place where you had a show, then you got free booze. But when you had no money,
I think I had some money with me.
That's how you kept Mike drunk.
Actually, I was collecting the money. That's why I was always drinking.
Yeah, right.
If you want to know, guys. Yeah. Rock and roll. Never trust the road manager.
The manager always has more money.
It's just the way it goes.
Yep.
But you know what the road manager has to deal with?
All the crying, sniveling, whining. Where's my PDs?
How much were the PDs by the end? Just gone?
Yeah, there was nothing
I
left.
think we got down to 3.
We kind of got down to 3 at one point, and then there was nothing.
I think we started at 10 and
started
went to
at 10.
7 real quick.
Yeah.
And then 5 was pretty much the whole tour.
Well, we only missed
And we were doing a lot of pasta dinners, We could feed everyone for like 10, 20 bucks. Loaf of bread cost a nickel.
We used to have to walk a mile to the store in the snow.
My loving brothers are flying home, luxury class.
So who's oldest?
We're leaving the bus
Me,
here because
Sean.
we don't wanna get
Sean's the
broken
old
down
guy.
in the middle of the desert somewhere.
That's in Dallas.
That's the bus. That's the Dallas. The Dallas bus resting home.
Yeah, we flew home.
There's no show in Dallas, right?
No. There was supposed to be, but we blew off all the rest of the shows because social
we couldn't
distortion
make it.
left.
We're going in the video truck right now.
There's Brenson, the one who whined the most, and he, of course, is in the video truck on the way home. Yeah, this is Dallas.
Dallas.
See,
You smoking?
oh yeah, and Brenson smoking in the goddamn back of the video truck. God, no ventilation. These were the days before they
So I
banned
didn't-
smoking everywhere.
I didn't do this drive, but I've done plenty of tours in the back of a U-Haul. In the
They
heat
flew back.
and the freezing
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
Flew back from Dallas.
I had $200 left in my bank account. I had my girlfriend.
I
send it out.
had to. I could have flown, but I had to drive back. Yeah, there's the There's the bus. Oh,
Great bus.
it was. Except they kept breaking down. There's the cover of Someone Got Their Head Kicked In. We did have a little bit of stuff to sell. We had the records. But we didn't, we weren't selling tons of them. Yeah, we were selling the Someone Got Their Head Kicked In compilation. And then we had the first Youth Brigade record that we rushed together for this thing. And
Yeah, I think
that was Peter who opened the door.
They
Look at my shorts.
Yeah,
Aren't
they
they
sent
cute?
the.
I still have those.
They sent the first Youth Brigade record out to us when we were on the road.
Gay party was going on.
Yeah, was it? Gay party in the back of the video
I
truck.
wonder he was bummed out on the whole tour.
Look at that.
Nice ass.
Yeah, I am a Mohawk.
I have an American flag trunk. What's that?
Monetarily, it is a dismal failure, but that's not what we set out to do. We didn't set out to make money.
Set out to get a free effigy shirt.
Yeah, and I did. But miserable failure, that's a little harsh, Sean, don't you think? I mean, actually, we didn't really lose very much money.
I mean, there are times
I don't think we even lost money at all.
No, we didn't have any money to lose.
That's true.
Put money
No,
out
but
on
we
the
didn't have to get
bus.
money to the bus, but whatever. The bus, we made the money off of the show.
Yeah.
The Palladium.
You don't know anybody, and you've only talked to somebody.
This was a great house, though, the
Flores
Flores house.
Like kids
Love
in
that
Manor,
place.
Calgary, kids in
You
Windsor.
know how much the
Destroyed
rent
it.
was for this one-bedroom apartment, hardwood floors, in West Hollywood, right around the corner from Barney's Beanery? $250 a month. Nice.
And the house up front, there was the 2 apartments in the back.
And then there was like a 2 or 3 bedroom house up front, the little place. I think it was $400 or $500 a month.
Talking to them, it's like you share all these things.
Mike,
with kids.
he did. We rented it.
Yeah, he was living across the street from Okie Dogs.
I had a
Sean
house in
was.
Okie Dogs in like
And-
summer of '81, I think.
Yeah, the guy who owned that had these places, which
This is
he
these
was.
Israeli guys. Like, I moved into the house with Greg from Salvation Army, who played with Youth Brigade for a little while. Literally 3 doors down from Okie Dogs on Vista. And when I moved into the place, it didn't have a stove or a fridge. And the guy said, "Go to this house. Look, Mom's calling. You want to say hi to Mom?" No.
Better wrap it up.
He said,
yeah.
go over to this house and get the stove. And there it was. It was that house. And I said, "Hey, why don't you let me move in there?" He's like, "Okay."
Then we had a big Destructo party at the end.
The end. Yeah, the Destructo party was great.
Everybody brought sledgehammers and baseball bats and destroyed the place.
Dream. Oh, yeah, this is long. This is supposed to be Sync with California. at the
Kevin
end of this movie.
Hunter. You didn't get a credit for
He
the
said,
opening
"Well, you
music.
guys write a song for the movie because, they wrote a song during the movie, so that's why we used it." And I said, "Well, I couldn't really write a song during the movie because if you didn't notice, I was actually dealing with the tour." So then we went home and I wrote Sync with California. That was the song that I wrote that was kind of for the movie. But they didn't want to use it. We said, run the credits, and then at the end, they always run some more music. Then you could run Sync with California. No, we can't do that.
Yeah, we got screwed.
Yeah, we got screwed. We got screwed. But I think, if you flip over now and watch this movie again and listen to the directors and filmmakers version of it, they'll say they got screwed. Which is kind of interesting, considering they made the movie. So how did they get screwed? They sold it.
Bought my car with money I made from this movie. It's not bad.
That's not bad. Must be in a cheap car because they didn't make that much money.
That's a down payment.
Big Bob, that's the guy who didn't realize it, but he put up the money for this movie.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. We appreciate it. Apparently when Adam showed him the movie, he fell asleep.
See ya.
Bye.
Hope
Thanks
you
for
enjoyed
watching
it.
with us.
See you next time.